Welcome to the news, where we break down the biggest stories happening in the world of MMA. First up on the news, Jorge Masvidal versus Colby Covington is going to happen at UFC 272. Now that the UFC has confirmed Leon Edwards is definitely next in line to fight for the title against Kamaru Usman. Dana White said yesterday that Leon Edwards is definitely next in line to fight for the title. He told TSN that Leon lost. He's had a really tough time, and he deserves it. If you look at it, Colby lost to Usman twice, Gilbert lost, so Edwards is next. He's number 3. Speaking of Dana also said no to Henry Cejudo. Dana doesn't like the whole comeback idea where Henry wants to fight Alexander Volkanovski for the belt. He told BT Sport that this guy quit fighting. He's been away for so many years now, and he wants to come in and fight Alexander Volkanovski for the belt. For Cejudo to quit and think he should just be able to come in and jump into any weight class and take on the champion. That's not how it works. Dana went on to say that Triple C is an amazing fighter, but he's been gone for a while. And he told BT Sport he'd love to see Henry come back. He loves Henry, but he thinks he needs to work his way back up. As far as the matchup with Volkanovski, Dana says that's not happening. Now, despite saying no to Triple C, Dana White has mentioned that if everything goes according to plan and assuming no injuries occur, Alexander Volkanovski will be fighting in March. That fight will be against either Brian Ortega or Yair Rodriguez. Let me know what you think of Dana's comments down below. Do you think Triple C deserves a shot at the belt right away, or do you agree with Dana that he needs to work his way back up? Next up on the news, Joe Rogan has been getting a lot of hate. In an open letter to Spotify, 270 science and health professionals said that the Joe Rogan Experience is spreading false information about the pandemic. The letter said, by allowing the spread of false and harmful claims, Spotify is letting its media damage public trust in scientific research and make people doubt the reliable guidance given by medical professionals. One of the most recent clips that Rogan did was with Dr. Jay Chat Bhattacharya, where they talked about alternative ways to treat COVID. The letter pointed to this podcast episode, which features guests promoting ivermectin, which has not been proven to be effective against COVID-19 and has been shown to be toxic in high doses. The Food and Drug Administration has warned against using the drug to prevent or treat COVID. The letter goes on to say that this is a prime example of the type of misinformation that is so common on the platform. It added that Rogan has repeatedly presented false information about the pandemic on his podcast. The letter concludes by asking Spotify to respond to the concerns raised by the signatories and to explain what steps the company is taking to address the issue. Rogan released a statement responding to the backlash. He said, "I don't take any of this stuff seriously. I'm just a dumb son of a gun who's lucky enough to talk to really smart people, and I'll continue to do that." A clip from Joe's recent podcast has been going viral where Joe argues with Josh Zepps. The two were discussing vaccine mandates, and Rogan argued that if you mandate vaccines, then everyone is forced to choose between following the law or choosing to follow their own morals. Rogan said that he believes in informed consent and allowing people to make their own decisions regarding the vaccine. Zepps argues that the logic is flawed because it pits freedom against morality. Zepps claims that it's actually possible to both follow the law and follow one's morals. He claimed that the law should reflect people's morals and that it doesn't force people to choose between the two. Joe responded to the clip on Twitter. He wrote, "If anyone was going to make me look stupid on the podcast, I'm glad it's Josh Zepps because I love him and he's awesome. That video is embarrassing. It's what happens when you mess up in a long podcast when you didn't know a topic was going to come up and you just wing it." Check out the full video down below. Next up on the news, Francis Ngannou refuses to fight for $500,000 anymore. In a recent interview with ESPN, Ngannou said the UFC contract is very tricky. That's why you sign a 40-month contract, and you find yourself after 4 years still dealing with that, even though you have been active. Contractually, it means that I've done the 8 fights that were on my contract, and the championship clause. He went on to say that the first part of the contract is 25 months, which is 2 years and 1 month. And the second part of the contract is 15 months. The option for the third part of the contract is only activated if he's the champion. Now, when you activate the championship clause, it means the clock stops, which is weird. So, however, in my situation, the clock never stopped. So even though I became champion in March, I still have 15 months left, so the total is 40 months. People don't understand that in the contract it's optional. It says at the end of the contract, if you're the champion, you're extended for 3 fights or 1 year. So that made me think it's optional. No, I will not fight for 500,000 or 600,000 anymore. I mean, it's over. I will not fight for that amount. I just did this. I took this fight for a personal reason, because I want to make sure that no matter what, even if it's unfair, I have been treated wrongly. I can make my case to say I have completed the 8 fights that were on my contract and the championship clause. But no, we've been having this boxing discussion for a year, and it seems like they were okay with it. Whatever you're doing, whatever the event is, whether it's boxing or whether it's inside the UFC, if the UFC is involved, it's just going to make it bigger. That's not questionable. So yes, if I want to box, I would like the UFC to be involved. On his meeting with Dana White, he said it went pretty well. At this point, I'm not upset. I'm kind of chill about everything. I went to him to greet him, and we wished each other happy holidays, and I told him my frustration. I expressed to him that I'd like to stay in the UFC, but I don't feel like the UFC wants me to stay. I don't feel like I have a promoter anymore. I want a championship fight. The next thing that was coming my way was a way to stand me off everything. I didn't feel like I was promoted. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I didn't see anything compared to what happens to different fighters. That's going to wrap it up for the news. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post future ones. Here are the 3 top comments from last video. The first one says, Covington and Masvidal's last 4 losses combined have all been to Usman. That's wild. The second one's from Zeb Martin. It says, no to Connor's pub. Gaethje wasn't kidding when he said he'd burn the whole thing down. The final one's from the Lone Wolf. It says, that old man sure took his revenge on McGregor. Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured on the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. If you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen to get caught up. Make sure to go subscribe to our second channel where we post our exclusive MMA interviews.